Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Kevin. Today is the 10th of February 2021, and I'm so happy to be here with you. I hope that you are rested and feeling good and ready for your Wednesday. Gosh, it's a good day, and I got some good cards for you. Sorry, I was a minute or two late logging in and tuning in, but I'm the only one here so far, so there you go. Um, wow. I had a great day yesterday. I was not in the salon. I had a trip to South Carolina to volunteer um, and spent the day with some folks that were getting their vaccines. It's one of those things that when I was thinking about the thought of having to do it, uh, I wasn't sure. There were pockets of my mind that were thinking, I don't know about this. I'm not sure I want to do this. And it was this the resistance was thinking, and the thinking was based on nothing. I wasn't basing it on anything anyone had said, anything anyone had told me. And oftentimes in my life, when I have automatically said no, no, no to something that I really don't know why, and then I've done it anyway. It's always been a beautiful, incredible experience. And this is my message about that. Oftentimes, we have a predisposition about a person, a place, a thing, a situation, or a project, right? There's this idea that's laid out, and we're invited to participate. The invitation is the message. You're being invited, which means you should be yes for it. Not yes, you've got to get all crazy and excited, but yes for I'll do it. I'll step up. When my yoga teacher training, hey Megan, huh? Megan's sharing that she's a school teacher and she is not been able to get the vaccine. We're in the red. Don't quite know what in the red means, but that's okay. You can get into the comments and you can explain to all those that are viewing what that means. Um, anyway, all that to say, I trotted on down there to the volunteer place, and there was still some apprehension before getting there. And then, as I pulled up into the parking lot, and obviously read the brief that what we had to do, the protocol, there was just this feeling of support, not so much from the people, but just support all around, spiritual support. I just felt lifted, like, oh, it just was this wave of knowledge that I'm supposed to do this. Um, I did my little prayer before I went in, saying thank you for keeping me safe. Thank you for introducing me to the people that I was meant to meet. And thank you for making this day go swiftly, pleasantly, and beautifully. I set that intention by being thankful for it already happening. And I went in and it was exactly the way I had said thank you for it. So that's why I'm sharing it, is get in touch with where the resistance is. And if you still feel drawn to do something, or you still feel that you should do something, and that it is your calling, your purpose, your internal dialogue urging you to move forward with it, then give thanks for the way you want it to be, even though you haven't gone and done it. Give thanks for the way you want it to turn out, as if it's already happened. What I find that does is it switches the mindset, and it gives the resistance, the no, the it gives all that nowhere to go. It's a bit like that gets shoved down into cul-de-sac of wherever, and you've already made your declaration that you've showed up for it. And the other part to this, I feel like I'm an octopus here talking with my hands. Sorry, my hands down, Kevin. The other part to this is, do we really want to map out the life that we've chosen rather than I was little, and I remember a quote saying, play the hand you're dealt, which just basically means stay in your lane, do as you're told, don't buck the system, don't rock the boat. Well, I understand that. Be respectful, be kind, be decent, um, treat others the way you want to be treated. Now, with that, treat everyone else the way you want to be treated. Well, there's a little bit of a naughtiness to that because not everybody treats us the same way. So then you look at, well, if I'm treating people the way I want to be treated, but they're not doing it, how is that right? It isn't. But that doesn't mean to say you get to continue, you know, it's a bit like that double-edged sword. It isn't really your higher calling and lifting your vibration if you're meeting nastiness with nastiness, rudeness with rudeness. Yes, there are times in my life I want to flip the bird. There are times in my life where, you know, you're supposed to merge in traffic and you're supposed to merge decently, kindly, and yet somebody comes up on the side, cuts over and doesn't care. Yes, that upsets me. But who is it really upsetting? Because the person who did it got what they wanted. Oh, okay. You're the one that gets upset about it. They don't care. Evidently, off they go. So the other, how do you look at that? What do you do with that? What do you do with it when you're, you know, in the grocery store and someone cuts across you in line, or it happens. It happens to all of us. Here's what I learned and what I know to be true. I've taken the high road. I've chosen to be like, okay, off you go. And let it go. Being like, it's okay. I mean, I can't really do anything about it, so off you go. I'm allowed to be irritated. I'm allowed to be annoyed. But I don't want to meet it with the same level of rudeness. The other part to it, which is, it came up recently, that happened, and I was about to go into, I could feel it, about to go into a verbal tirade, and I heard distinctly a message that was from one of those spirits saying, here I go, goosebumps are coming. Well, somebody, you did it to somebody at some point, and this is their payback, or something like that. Payback's a menace, something like that. I heard, and it stuck me like, well, what does that mean? Yes. Sometimes when we meet that adversity, when we meet that resistance, when somebody slaps us upside the head that we weren't expecting, at some point it's a balance. You balanced it. You got to pay it off. You got to pay your debt. You got to say, okay, you have that one. After I got clear with that, instead of getting angry and irritated, I sat into the seat of, yes, I sat into the seat of, you know what? Another piece of my karmic nonsense just got paid off. I just paid another karmic debt. I just paid another one. So the karma is the balancing out of the good versus the evil. And if you want to raise your vibration, you want to lift your heart, you want to open yourself to joy, open yourself to contentment. And here's our card: joy and contentment, the energy of joy and contentment. I'll explain what Kyle Gray's description of that is in a minute. It's just that if we're looking to improve, if we're looking to find a nicer way, a better way, a cleaner way, a kinder way, we have to be prepared for all of the old ways. We talk about, can we get forgiven? Yeah, you're forgiven all the time, instantly. You're instantly forgiven. That's it. Forgiveness comes from the source, the God, and you are part of that. So if you can forgive yourself and you can live with yourself, whatever you've done that you feel guilty for, once you lift that burden off, now you can move on clean, fresh, turn the page. However, sometimes there are these almost karmic punishments, if you will, little like this, like from the past that pop back up. They don't come up all the time, but they do come up. For me, it's a way of saying, okay, yes, and it's okay. What I know for sure, having done that, I don't get bogged into the anger, the resentment, and the need to want to go do what they did, to behave the way they behaved. I get to let it go and get to let it feel like I've lifted up and beyond it. I've gone past it. It's finished. And the result of it didn't take long. Over a period of time, I stopped finding the roads that were heavily trafficked. I stopped getting into that nonsense where people were cutting over. I didn't seem to run into that. I seemed to run into more of the opposite, people letting me in. The lights being green when they're usually red. The areas of town that were always bottlenecked opened up. So I began to experience the things that I wanted to experience all along. And those other experiences didn't seem to show up. So I'm sharing that with you. Joy and contentment is one card that showed up this morning. Along with the map maker of destiny. So the map maker of destiny talks about this being an opportunity for you to get on your path of destiny, because fate is about to be placed on your life path. A person or a situation comes in unexpectedly by fate. And when fate brings people together, situations together, jobs together, opportunities together, you get to choose what pathway, what journey you want to take. They don't pop up very often, but they do. And you know, these fated situations, it could be a person that pops in that challenges you, that you are excited about, that you get, well, you weren't expecting that to happen. And I've got the angel over here now, loving, and they just hug, they just love the voices. It's a bit like they're fueling this message. I'm pausing because I'm trying to listen to see if they're saying anything to me. No, carry on. All right, thank you. So if you find yourself at a point where you've spent some time not quite sure where you're going, what you're doing, goosebumps. Yes, yes, yes. Then they're with you, Megan. If you've got goosebumps, you're listening to that. And when you get the goosebumps, you just get quiet and you get, oh, there it goes again. Yes, yes, yes. I'm hearing it. Yes, yes, yes. If you get quiet and just listen with that inner mind voice, the message comes. And we choose, it's this balance between rising above, or I can't call it rising above, but it is rising above, raising the vibration out of the human experience, because the human experience wants to physically hear it. The ego wants to hear the voice. It's the mind and the intuition that listens to it. You know, sometimes I want to love on people who are somewhat schizophrenic, because that's different. They hear voices, and they literally do hear voices. We don't hear them. They hear them. It's very similar to that. There's a piece of that brain chemistry, the neurology, that has been pushed away. I'm digressing about this. I'm sharing this because it's coming up and I'm being told to share it. I once knew a woman, Valerie, was a client who was, well, I think she was schizophrenic without being diagnosed as schizophrenic, because Valerie would launch into a voice, and she'd launch into a chatter that made no sense. But it was this very quick chatter, very quick voice, and then she would pull herself back together and become Valerie again, and would never acknowledge or honor the fact that she did it. As far as when you'd say, what was all that about? Are you okay? What are you talking about? And she would just carry on like she was normal. And this happened a few times. Now, I don't know whether it was happening for my benefit or now I got loads of goosebumps. She might be on the other side. Ooh, ooh, she might be on the other side chattering, saying yes, for sure. It's having the love for the oddities of life that are the destiny pieces we pay attention to. The oddities of life, the things that are out of whack, out of sync, out of context, out of character. They just happen. They happen all the time. Destiny is on you. So, your destiny, if you will, before you came into human form, many believe I'm one of them, has been somewhat mapped out. You've got a purpose. The whole goal of being in a human form is to live a purposeful life, right? Um, there's authors that have written about it, the purpose-filled life, the purpose-driven life. Most of it, the practitioners, teachers of this are based on religious belief systems. So the difference between spirituality, for me, I'm not telling you to buy into it. The difference between spirituality, in my way of looking at it, is I am actually a big spirit having a human experience right now. I'm not attached to any particular doctrine. I'm not attached to Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, any of the religious doctrines. I don't know why I gave you air quotes. That doesn't make sense. It's a habit and I need to stop it. Um, that was so silly, this business. It seems weird. Let's just call it waving. But people do it, and I picked up that habit, and that's crazy. Okay, thank you. I'll shut up now. Where's I going with that? So religion. Whew. The history about religion is many spiritualists have walked the earth for centuries. For centuries, they've come, master teachers and teachers, not to control, but to share, but to show people the way, to say, here we go, follow this. When people realized, or organizations realized, that, wow, this person has the ability to lead, like, for example, Christianity, Jesus led many people. And he then offered up disciples to go ahead and continue this word, spiritualists, if you will. No one really said, no one went to any of these disciples and said, well, are you a Catholic? Are you a Jew? Are you a Christian? Are you Buddhist, a Hindu? What are you? There's none of that, because it wasn't important. What was important was the message. And so the message really for all of us is, when you come up against fate and fate puts itself on your pathway, you get to choose what journey you make, depending on where you want to go with it. And those are magical moments, because let's just say, for sake of argument, your purpose in life is to teach, to be a teacher, to show people. I'm going to share a path with you and give you the tools that you need to better your life. And you might be, I see that as a human information booth, a wonderful resource that people need. A bit like, here's your clue to your next level. That's so important. Here's the clue, here are the skills, here's the toolbox that you need to move on. And it's so gratifying for a teacher to watch a student go, oh my goodness, I've got this. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. Whoosh, off they go to the next teacher. And we do this, we keep going. When destiny comes along, it's showing us that we've got the toolbox in our hand and we get to choose what we do next. Oh, yes. So fate becomes the tools that we put in our toolbox to move us on to the next piece, the next where we're supposed to go. How do you know what it is, and how do you know where you're going and what you're choosing? What's that telltale sign? Well, don't forget this. This is joy and contentment. This is how you know. This is, oh, here comes a goosebump. So, when I get these big goosebumps like this, my angels, my guides are saying, go for it. Talk about it. Discuss it. When you are feeling joy and contentment and happiness and lifted and all about the kumbaya good stuff, when you're like, oh yeah, my feet are in the water and the sun is on my face, that knows, when you get that feeling, oh, you've just been given a whoop-de-doo, let's go card. Joy and contentment is you choosing you going and having a massage, you going to the spa, getting a facial, you going to the beach, being with the water, you spending a day in a crystal shop, you spending a day with these lovely singing bowls that I've got here. That is joy and contentment. Oh, I'm waffling on, and we've got to get to the message of today and meditate. So, watch the fate that gets put in your pathway and choose the destiny that's following your joy and contentment. And if you get confused at all, like, oh, I feel like this is a fate thing, a person, I'll share with you now because it hasn't happened. One of the things I've been working with my entire life is companionship. I've always felt like, because I'm of service to so many people, including animals, that I don't get to be loved by a one person. I feel like my karmic pathway forward has to be living a life of celibacy or being single or not having a partner. I've always thought that because they haven't worked. They've been somewhat demonstrative. Something about me changes when I'm feeling that, like wanting to be in a relationship. In the early days, it was connected to the fact that much of society really wasn't into gay relationships because the majority of people are heterosexual. Then we got through that. We became a world that was more accepting of that. So we're good to go. But for me personally, it landed in the place of hurt and disappointment. And I put walls up. Walls up that kept people at arm's length, walls up that would not let people in, and they've only come down because people have kept knocking. And I'm not talking about romantic people, friends, good, close, personal friends who have said, "You've got so much to offer a person. Why are you not opening up to it?" And I've allowed the wall to become more of a window, and now the window's becoming a little bit more of a veil, and the veil is starting to crumble away. To be open to something like that, knowing that you're raw, for anyone who is wide open, their heart's wide open, and they're raw to it. When it hurts, it cuts deep, and the bleeding is emotional on a level that is not a lot that I can truly explain, but those of you who understand it, you get it. So yeah, that's what I believe when I talk about the fate. That's what I believe is coming. I believe that's on its way. I've had several odd dreams in the last week. One in particular, that I was introduced to somebody at an event by somebody in the dream I knew, but in life I'm not sure I know them. And then in the same night, a separate dream involved me dressing in wedding attire, and I've got there you go, it's down here. I've got a what they call a morning suit. It has tails in it, and it's got like this little buttons down here. It's a gorgeous grey colour, and it's made of a texture. And I can see it in my head now. It might be a pinstripe, something like that. But anyway, I'm wearing one of these Windsor knot ties, and the color of the tie is bright pink magenta, and obviously the shirt's white. There's goosebumps again. So so somebody in the spirit world is saying you're getting it, you're understanding it. The other person is, I can see them. They're around about my age, slender, very, very slender, and just kind and just caring and just very nurturing person. And in the dream, I'm having what you could only describe as jitters about, I don't know about this. I'm not sure I should be doing this. That's when they say, that's what I'm talking about, the map maker sending fate in your way and destiny being your choice to take it or not. All right, now I'm going to read today's lesson and we'll meditate. I love how excited you are about this. Thank you, Megan. I'll let you know. I mean, it's I think when you follow something that's in here, me it's sharing this with all of you every day, then you know you're on the right pathway. And I swear, hand to God and our heart, I don't make this up before I sit down here. It all just floods and flows, which I think is the beauty of it. Um, what lights me up more than anything is that I don't have to rehearse any of this. It almost feels like I'm cheating. Almost feels like I haven't done any research. I've just gone with it. Hey, Sean. You speak of feeling that have led me to where I am today. Oh, wow. Yes. So there you go. You've got all of that mapped out for you. Um, it's no accident that we have things happen to us. It isn't an accident. Even the stuff that is, oh my God, so tough to deal with, it is there because we have the resilience. We've got the strength to bust it down and move through it. They say that your biggest success comes right on the heels of what seems to be your biggest failure. And the difference between the two is getting back up. You have to get back up. Once you know, shoot, I'm in this mess, I can't go any further, I'm stuck, I don't know what else I can do, get back up. When you get back up, and I'm using this figuratively, step back is getting back up. Breathe is getting back up. Let a day go by is getting back up. Take a nap if you need to is getting back up. Just turning it all down and turning it off is getting back up. If you're putting a project together and the project's a mess and it's not going very well and you're getting bombarded because there's a deadline coming up, fuck the deadline. Excuse my French, I'm sorry, I'm swearing. Get up, get out, leave it alone. When the energy's right and things line up, you'll come back to it, and either what you originally planned will come together or something better will emerge as a result of it. The fact that you got it somewhat twisted isn't wrong. It is the fact that you're on the right path, but you expected an outcome that didn't manifest. That's the difference. When you open yourself up without an expectation of the outcome and you just follow step by step, piece by piece, and be open to, well, I didn't think that was going to happen, but let's just try this anyway. It isn't a failure. It's a research project. Well, let's just see. There's not anything that could go wrong when you're open to getting it on. That makes sense. All right, let's read this. Well, look, here we go. Free yourself from manipulation. Learn to recognize passive-aggressive hits. Learn to recognize when other people have hidden agendas, when you're trying to control or manipulate, and when they're trying to control or manipulate you. When we're being controlled, we feel guilty, obligated, indebted. In our muddle state, we agree to another's wishes, but we're not sure why. Then we wander around feeling uncertain, unbalanced, and confused. Wow. The lesson still isn't about them. The lesson is about how we respond. If their behavior, their energy is affecting us that strongly, it's because something in us needs to be healed. A part of us isn't clear. It's all mucked up by something old and outworn, such as guilt or fear. Once we heal ourselves, we will know how to deal with their energy, how to handle their passive-aggressive behavior and their attempts to control us. Then we can thank them for helping trigger our healing process, for helping us grow. Everything that happens along the way is part of our journey. Everything can be incorporated in our healing process. All roads lead to growth. All roads lead to growth. I've always said, if you're not growing, you're dying. If a plant doesn't have deep enough roots to spread, it doesn't rise. You've got deep enough roots and you've been spreading them. Now it's time for you to rise. All right, it's time for us to meditate. I've got a good one for you today. I was told ahead of time what I should focus on. So put your feet flat on the floor, and we'll begin with that, with the feeling of groundedness into the earth, and start with taking a breath in. Release and let go of all of the things that are binding you to anything other than right now. And then follow your breath in and out normally, naturally, without forcing, to where you can actually feel it going in and acknowledge what your exhale. Bring your hands to face the ceiling. Archangel Michael, thank you for cutting the unnecessary cords that bind me to people, places, situations, stories, and drama that I no longer need and stands in the way of my purpose. I lift the weight of the world off my shoulders. I now declare that I am safe and free, and so it is. Bring your hands over your heart. Thank you, angels, for showing us who you are and reminding us that you're here. Thank you for bringing the messages and revealing to us what we need to know. I am open and willing to listen and receive. And so it is. Now, with your eyes closed, picture in front of you a symbol. It can be an angel, it can be source energy, whatever you believe that is. Sending a veil of protection, a veil of love, and a veil of clarity towards you like a bubble. Let this energy, this color, just mist around you. Like a membrane that keeps all that you've just declared in. And then begin to follow your breath in and out. Take your mind and your attention to your heart, the area in the middle of your chest, right inside the depth of your rib cage. Access a light. And then bring your mind to your third eye center, the area between your eyebrows. And extend the light that's in your heart up through the top of your head, out the crown of your head, as if you are shining a silver cord, an LED silver light, a laser beam way on up into the ethers. You are now connected to the depth of the earth and the highest ranks of the heavens. We'll start this visualization with you seated at the edge a beautiful lake. And feel your feet on the earth, the edge of this lake. And just as in the here and the now, and slightly before the dawn of the day, and gently see the glow of the sun. And pay attention to the colours and the patterns that the sun makes on the patterns of the surface of the water. Over to your left side there is a bridge that extends up over the lake to the other side. As you look across to the other side, on the other side of this bridge, to rich and deep forest. See the canopy of trees and vegetations making this perfect peaceful landscape on the opposite side of this lake. And gently beside you is a messenger bird, just perched a little to your left. Your bird has come for you to ask for your own personal message, for what you want to know, what you want to receive. You can choose to speak it to the bird, you can choose to write it down on a piece of paper and give it to the bird. Just let yourself share openly and willingly what's on your heart, what's in your mind. Gently watch as the bird lifts from the ground and flies up over the bridge, deep into the forest. Continue following your breath. And send the loving energy of your breath into your heart to heal your emotions, into your mind to heal your thoughts. And anywhere in your body that you're experiencing discomfort or tension, one or two breaths into each of these areas to cleanse out, neutralize, and bathe. And the breath out, release, let go, heal. Know that the wisdom of the hidden realms that are in the trees in the forest beyond the lake are bringing you the message that you need to hear. The message is for your highest good. And gently hear the fluttering of the wings of the bird coming out of the woods, out of the forest. In its beak there is a scroll. The bird lands gently on your right side, invites you to take the scroll. On the scroll is written your message. Share your gratitude for the bird by saying thank you. Send him on his way. And sit quietly with your conscious mind focused on your third eye center. Allow for any visualizations to present themselves to you. Allow for any clairaudient messages to be heard by you. Allow any intuit feelings, vibrations to be felt by you. When you feel complete, clear, place your hands at heart center. Honor yourself, give thanks for yourself, be grateful that you've got the opportunity to do this. And let's lift our thumb knuckles between our third eye center, and together we bow and say namaste. Thank you, really, truly. While I was leading you through that visualization, the scroll that came, that I opened, was blank. There was nothing on it. That doesn't mean to say that there is no message or that there was nobody there. That's what the human wants you to believe. What that means is you're exactly where you need to be. You're exactly where you should be. And the message right now is to stay still, to stay calm, to stay focused on being open to the experience. I believe that angels and spirit guides meet us where we are, same as teachers meet their students where they are. Good teachers meet their students where they are. And sometimes the visualizations seem easy for some and more challenging for others, but it's just like a muscle. It has to be worked, and the way to raise your vibration is a daily spiritual exercise, a treatment, carving out half an hour, 45 minutes. I like the hour of power, which is whatever you choose it to be, and the best time is this time of the day, right before you get any real distractions going on. All right, my friends, I love you. Thanks for being here. And if you know of a way to get this YouTube subscription list viewers higher, not that that's the point, I've said that, but it is kind of important, I think. Let me know. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.